Hello students, how are you all? I hope you all are doing great. I am Neha Rajvanshi and I welcome you all in today's class, that is English class of class 8th. So students, in today's video we will start reading with our next chapter from the book Honeydew. This is chapter number 3 and the name of the chapter is Glimpses of the Past. So first of all, let's understand the title, that is Glimpses of the Past. So what glimpses means? Glimpses means a very quick view. Okay, so in this chapter we will see a lot of quick view. We will see a lot of scenes that are related with the past, or we can say that are related with the history of our own country, that is India. And this chapter is very much different. Why? Because in this chapter we are having a lot of pictures, or we can say that this chapter is written in the form of comics. Okay, and with the help of those pictures, so we will see a lot of glimpses, a lot of scenes that are related with the history of our own country India. And all these things you have read in your history books also, so you all are aware with all the things that we will read in this chapter. So now let's start reading the chapter. First of all, before you read, so before starting the chapter, let's get some idea. Here are some pictorial glimpses of the history of our country from 1757 to 1857. So as I have told you earlier that in this chapter we are having pictorial glimpses, we are having so many pictures because this chapter is in the form of comics. So we are having some pictorial glimpses, and with the help of those glimpses we will see the history, or we can say we will see the past of our own country, that is India, and from a very particular period that starts from 1757 to 1857. Okay, so उस समय हमारा जो country है India, उसमें क्या क्या conditions थी, क्या situation थी, that we will read in this chapter. These pictures and speech bubbles will help clarify your understanding of the conditions that led to the event known as the First War of Independence in 1857. So all the pictures that we will see in this chapter and all the speech bubbles that we will read in this chapter, so all these things will help clarify our understanding of the conditions that were there in India at that time. And because of those conditions, finally there was this event that is known as the First War of Independence that actually happened in the year 1857. And I am very much sure that you all know about this thing, about this war that is regarded as the First War of Independence in 1857. So why this event it took place, why this war happened? Because of some conditions that were there at that time. So we will read about all those conditions, because of finally this event was there, because of that finally this war of independence was there, that was in 1857. So now let's start reading the chapter. So in this chapter we are having some different parts. So this is our very first part, and the name of this part is the martyrs. So what martyrs means? Martyr is a person who is killed because of their faith. It means if some person is very much determined, if some person is having very deep faith, and because of that faith he is having no care about his own life, and he is even killed because of that faith, then that person is regarded as the martyrs. And we all know that India finally is able to having the freedom, finally India is able to having the independence because of the sacrifices of all the freedom fighters, because of the sacrifices of so many martyrs. Okay, so here is the very first picture that we are having in our chapter. So let's see the picture. Here we can see one lady who is standing here holding the mic, and after seeing the picture we all can recognize her. She is a very famous singer of India, that is Lata Mangeshkar. And here on the stage we can see some very reputed, some very honorable persons. First of all, we can see India's first Prime Minister, the first Prime Minister of independent India, that is Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. And here we can see first President of India, that is Mr. Rajendra Prasad, and many more people are sitting here. And it is a function that was going on in Delhi, right? And Lata Mangeshkar Mangeshkar. She is singing a very famous song. Let's see the lyrics. She is singing, "Oh my countrymen, let your eyes fill with tears as you recall the sacrifices of India's martyrs." So this is a very famous song. You all have heard that song. That is, "Oh my countrymen." Countrymen means मेरे वतन के लोगों, all the citizens of my own country. Okay, so now I am very much sure that you all are able to recall this song, "Oh मेरे वतन के लोगों." So this is a very famous song, and Lata Mangeshkar, she is singing this song in a function that was organizing in Delhi. And here in this picture we can see Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. He is sitting, and there are so many freedom fighters, there are so many martyrs because of the sacrifices of all these freedom fighters. Finally we are enjoying freedom, finally we are having the independence. So here we can see Jhansi ki Rani Lakshmibai is here, and you know, Subhash Chandra Bose is here, Bhagat Singh is here, and so many other freedom fighters, so many other martyrs are here. And actually, you know, always there should be a feeling of gratefulness. Always we should be, you know, thankful and grateful for all these freedom fighters. Because of their sacrifices, they actually sacrifice their own life, and because of their sacrifices, finally we are enjoying freedom, finally we are having independence. Okay, so always we should be grateful and thankful to all the martyrs, to all the freedom fighters. Clear? Next we are having the company's conquest, that is from 1757 to 1849. And what company is referred here? This is a very famous East India Company. So now we are having another picture, so let's read. With its superior weapons, the British East India Company was extending its power in 18th century India. So let's see what extending means. Extending means to increase, and what conquest means? Conquest means winning of something. So East Indian Company slowly, gradually, it was winning so many parts of India. So in this map we can see, this is the map of India of that time of, you know, 1765. So the entire red part that we can see here, it represents the Indian princess, and the red part that is given here, it represents British territory. So Britishers, they start their power from these parts of India, and slowly and gradually they won so many parts, they won so many states in India, right? Why? With the help of their superior weapons. So we all know that at that time Indian rulers, Indian princes, they were having the old aged weapons, but Britishers, they were having rifles, they were having cannons, they were having guns. Because of, you know, the advanced technology, they were having all these superior weapons, and with the help of these weapons, finally they were able to win so many wars, finally they were able to defeat Indian princes, and they were able to extend, or we can say they were able to increase their territory. So yes, they started from these parts of India, but finally, slowly, gradually, they won so many states in India, they extended their territory, they, you know, increased their territory, and finally they started to rule over this country, finally they started to rule over the people of this country. And why Britishers, or we can say why East India Company was there in India? Because we all know they came just to do business, they came as merchants, they came as traders, and yes, finally they settled down here, and then they became the ruler of this country, they started to rule here. Okay, now let's read further. So in this picture we can see Indian princes were short sighted. So what it means, short sighted? Short sighted is a person who is having his interest only in you know, short term benefits, and he totally ignores, he totally you know, neglects the long term disadvantages that are very likely to happen. So we are having this thing that the Indian princes, or we can say the Indian rulers of different states, they were short sighted, they were interested only in the short term benefits, and they were not at all aware about the long term disadvantage. How? Let's read. So in this picture we can say this is one of the ruler, he is sitting here, and what he is speaking, he is saying that that upstart Raja Bah, call the English merchants, they will help me to defeat him. So here we can see that he is one of the ruler, and maybe some other, you know, neighboring ruler was there of some other state, and because of that ruler he is having some problem. So now because of the frustration he is saying that he is very much annoyed, he is very much upset, because of that ruler, and he is saying that upstart Raja blah. Upstart means new, so maybe in one of the neighboring country, neighboring state, there is the another Raja, another new Raja who is causing a lot of problem for this ruler. So now he is very much annoyed, and he is saying that call the English merchants, it means call the Britishers, they will help me to defeat him. So because of this reason, this ruler, this Raja is regarded as a short-sighted. Why? Because he is inviting Britishers, he is having this plan to invite the merchant, English merchant, or we can say the Britishers. Why? With the help of those Britishers he wanted to defeat that ruler. So he is only interested in this thing that I just want to defeat that ruler, and for that thing he is ready to take the help of Britishers. But he is totally unaware of this thing, he is totally ignoring this thing, that when Britishers, when they will be there in his kingdom, when he will be there to help him, then definitely they will interfere, and then definitely slowly they will have a control, they will have a hold over his own kingdom. So he is totally unaware about this thing, he totally ignoring this thing, and he is having only interest in the short term advantage, short term benefit. This is the reason he is regarded as a short sighted. And not only he, there were so many Indian rulers who were short sighted and who were actually very much interested in taking help from the Britishers, in taking help from the merchants, English merchants. Why? Because all the rulers, they were interested only in short term benefits, and not at all they were aware about the long term disadvantage of the help that was there. Okay, so वो सब help लेना चाहते थे, but जो इससे disadvantage होने वाला था in the future, they were totally unaware. So most of the rulers, they were of like him only, and now we are having that the people had no peace due to such constant fight. So at that time in India there were so many different states, and all the states, they were ruled by some different rulers. So now between all the rulers there was some constant fight, continuously fighting was there, and because of those fights all the peoples, the citizens, they were having no peace. So this was the condition of India at that time, when Britishers, or we can say when the East India Company, they started their rule in India, they started their business actually in India. So this was the condition that all the Indian rulers, they were fighting with each other, and just to defeat each other, they were interested in this thing also, that they wanted to help, they wanted to take help from the Britishers, they wanted to take help from the East India Company. Okay, so this was the scenario at that time, and because of this continuous fight, because of this constant fight, there was no peace, because each and every ruler, they were indulged, they were busy in fighting with other rulers. Okay, and just to defeat other rulers, just to win, they were taking help from the Britishers, they were taking help from the English merchants. Clear? Next, the rivalries helped the East India Company, and it could easily subdue Indian princes one by one. So now because of the rivalry that was there among all the Indian rulers, the East India Company, finally it was able to subdue Indian princes one by one. So what subdue means? Subdue means to overcome, and rivalry means competition. It means all the Indian rulers, they were having a kind of competition, because they just wanted to expand their own boundaries, they just wanted to defeat other ruler, other prince. So because of this rivalry, because of this competition actually helped the East India Company. Why? Because each and every ruler, they were just they just wanted to take the help of Britishers. So why? Because they wanted to defeat the other ruler. So finally this thing helped the East India Company, finally this thing helped the Britishers, and in a very easy manner they subdue Indian princes वन बाय वन, ओके, वो एक रूलर की हेल्प करते थे दूसरे को डिफीट करने के लिए. आफ्टर दैट अगेन दे वर देयर टू हेल्प अनदर रूलर एंड दे वर हैविंग सुपीरियर वेपन्स एंड एडवांस टेक्नोलॉजी. विद द हेल्प ऑफ ऑल दोज थिंग्स, यस, दे वर वेरी मच स्ट्रॉन्गर, they were very much superior and they were able to defeat the other rulers, and finally they were able to subdue, finally they were able to overcome a lot of Indian princes one by one. So in this way finally they were growing, they were extending their own boundaries, okay, and Indian princes, because of their short sightedness, they were losing their kingdom, they were losing the control over their kingdom, okay, and yes, they were totally unaware about this thing because they were short sighted. A far-seeing ruler like the brave Tipu of Mysore fought the British till he died fighting. So when we are having all such rivalries, all such kind of competition between all the rulers, but at that time also there was one exception, some exceptions were there, and one far-seeing ruler was there and he was the brave Tipu of Mysore, जिसके बारे में हम सबने पढ़ा है हिस्ट्री बुक्स में. So he was the brave ruler, he was the brave Tipu of Mysore, and he was a far-seeing ruler. He was the ruler who was able to see the long-term disadvantage in taking help from the Britishers, and he was very much aware with this thing that Britishers, if they will interfere in your kingdom, then definitely gradually they will have a control over your kingdom. So yes, he was a far-seeing man and he was very brave also, and he fought to the British till he died fighting. So he was not at all ready for this thing, never ever he wanted any kind of interference of Britishers in his own kingdom. So he fought against the Britishers and he fought till he died fighting. So yes, he was very brave and he never ever wanted to have any kind of interference from Britishers in his own kingdom. It means yes, he was aware with this thing that he will lose his independence, he will lose his freedom if Britishers will be there in his kingdom. So yes, always he wanted to be a free man, always he wanted to be a independent ruler. Because of this reason he fought against Britishers and yes, he died fighting against the Britishers. So yes, he was very brave and he was very far-seeing ruler and never ever he accepted Britishers control. Clear? Next, thank God there is peace in the country now. No more wars and no looting by thugs. So in this picture we can see that how did Indians react to these conquests. So in the previous slides, in the previous pictures, we have seen the reaction of rulers, that how the Indian rulers, how the Indian princes, they were behaving about the presence of Britishers. Yes, there were a lot of rulers who were interested and who were always ready to take help from the Britishers, but yes, some exceptions were also there, like we have read about the brave Tipu Sultan of Mysore. So now here we are reading about the reaction of citizens of India, how the Indians, they were thinking, they were behaving about the presence of Britishers. So in this picture we can say some people are here and what they are talking about. Let's read. So first of all is saying that thank God there is peace in the country now, because the previous we have also read that because of the constant fighting there was no peace, but now there was peace in the country, and for that he is saying that thank God there is peace in the country now. No more wars and no looting by thugs. Okay, and the another person is saying it is God who sent the British. So yes, because of the Britishers, जो entire जो इंडिया में रूलर्स थे, जो आपस में इतनी ज़्यादा फाइट कर रहे थे, अब उनके आपस में फाइटिंग बंद हो गई थी, एंड ब्रिटिशर्स दे वर हैविंग द कंट्रोल, they were having they were holding the power, and yes, there was a kind of peace we can say. And for that the people of India, they are saying that it is God only who sent the British in our country, because because of the Britishers there is no looting by the thugs. So what thugs means? Thug is a criminal person, or we can say a violent person. So Britishers ने हर तरह से जो thugs थे उनको भी कंट्रोल कर लिया था. So for that the Indians, they are thanking God God, and the another person is saying that our destiny is linked with them. So what destiny means? Destiny means a future. So another person is saying that our destiny, our future, the future of our country is linked, is connected with the Britishers, and now because of the Britishers finally we are having peace, and actually God sent the Britishers for us. Okay, it means जो people हैं, जो Indians थे, they were happy with this thing that finally Britishers are there, and finally Britishers, they are having the power, they are having the control. So Indians, they were happy at that time with this thing. Clear? Now let's read here. The white man has killed or dethroned our kings. Some kings were not good, but after all they were of this land. Now we have become slaves of foreigners. So after reading this picture, we can see that at that time there were two different opinions were there. In this picture we can see that they are the that group of people who were very much happy with the Britishers, who were very much happy with this thing that finally the Britishers, they are having the control, they are having the power. Clear? But again there was some people who were not at all happy with this thing. Why? Because here we can see that one person is saying this thing that the white man means the Britishers, they has killed or dethroned our kings. Dethrone means remove from power. It means जो Britishers थे उन्होंने या तो रूलर्स को मार दिया था वॉर में, और जो लोगों को मार नहीं पाए थे उनको उन्होंने क्या किया था, उनके थ्रोन से हटा दिया था. So now these are the people who are worried about this thing that because of the Britishers, their own kings, they are dethroned. Okay, and the another person is saying that yes, it is true that some kings were not good, but after all they were of this land, they were Indians, but now we are having Britishers as rulers. So yes, there were some people at that time also who were aware with this thing that now they are slaves, because now there are Britishers who are ruling this country, there are Britishers who are having the control, who are having the power. So now again another person is here, he is saying that now we have become slaves of foreigners. So yes, this kind of consciousness was there at that time also, that yes, they are now slaves, because king जो थे वो चाहे कैसे भी थे, अच्छे थे या बुरे थे, but at least they were Indians. But now अब क्या हो गया है, now all the Indians, they are slaves of foreigners. So yes, at that time we can see two different kinds of opinion, two different kinds of group was there. The first group was very much happy with the British rule, but the another group was very much aware with this thing that now we all the Indians, we are the slaves of foreigners, because now Britishers, or we can say now the foreigners, they are ruling this country. Clear? Next we are having British rule of 1765 to 1836. Let's read this slide. Religious leaders purged ideas like untouchability and child marriage. So now in this picture we can see some of the social traditions, some of the social practice that was prevalent at that time of India. So at that time जो religious leaders हुआ करते थे, they used to preach ideas like untouchability and child marriage. So let's see what preach means. Preach means to give a religious sermon. So in this picture we can see he is a religious teacher and he is preaching something. और उस समय जो हमारी society थी, जो Indian society थी, in that society there were so many customs, there were so many traditions that were very unfair, that were full of injustice, like untouchability was there and child marriage was there. So what untouchability means, you all are aware with this thing that because of the caste system, there were some caste who were regarded as untouchable. Okay, उनको टच भी नहीं करते थे दूसरे कास्ट के लोग. So yes, this was the system that was prevalent in India at that time, and child marriage was also there at that time, and it was religious teacher only who preached such teaching to the society, to the people of the society. So here we can see one guru is there, one religious teacher is there, and what he is saying, let's read. Anyone who crosses the seas loses his religion. So yes, this was another belief belief who was there at that time. So he is saying that any person who crosses the seas, it means जो sea को cross करके कहीं दूसरी country में जाता है, he actually loses his religion. उसका जो religion है वो actual में वहीं पे end हो जाता है. It means जो किसी भी दूसरी country में जा रहा है sea को cross करके, so वो अपना religion खराब कर रहा है. So इस तरह की we can say superstitions were there. इस तरह की belief थे उस समय में that are very unfair, that are very far from any justice. So such were the conditions of Indian society at that time. And in this picture we can see that one person is here, and what he is saying, let's read. All the misery in the world is due to women. So he is saying that in the world, whatever misery we are having, whatever suffering, whatever distress we are having, everything is just because of a woman. So yes, this is true. This was the system, this was the social custom, this was the social tradition that was prevalent at that time. So yes, we can say that at that time a lot of superstitions were there and a lot of false beliefs were there, and all the people, they used to follow such system, they used to follow such beliefs, or we can say they used to follow such things like child marriage, like untouchability. And yes, women, they were regarded with no respect, no love, no affection was given to women. And yes, it was regarded that all the misery in the entire world is there just because of women. Okay, so this was the social custom, this was the social condition that was there at the time of India. Next, the truth was that Indians had lost self-respect. The British scorned them. So what was the truth at that time? That all the Indians, they had lost self-respect, and now the Britishers, they were scorching them. So what scorn means? Scorn means to refuse to help, or we can say to make fun of. So one side तो क्या हो रहा था, जो Indians थे, they were having no self-respect, they were having no self-appreciation, and on the other side the Britishers, they were making fun of the Indians, they were refusing to give any kind of help to Indians. So like in this picture we can see that some people are sitting here, they are talking, and he is a Britisher, and what he is saying that the natives are unworthy of trust, incapable of honesty. So this person is saying that the native means the Indians, they are unworthy of trust. Okay, it means he is saying that we cannot trust the Indians, and because why we cannot trust? Because Indians, they are incapable of honesty. So he is saying that Indians, they are not at all honest. This is the reason we cannot trust the Indians. And here in this picture we all can see that one Indian is also standing here, one Indian citizen is standing here, and what he is saying that true, your honor, but I am honest. So he is an Indian only, and he is listening such things, but what he is saying, what is his reaction? He is saying that yes, you are saying true, but I am also Indian, but I am honest, I am not at all a dishonest person. It means at that time in Indians there was no unity, because he is an Indian himself, and he is listening such thing against the Indians, that Indians, they are not honest and they are not trustworthy, and he is saying that yes, you are speaking truth, but I am honest. It means all the Indians, there was no unity at that time, and all the Indians, all the citizens, they were looking for their own interest. Okay, बिल्कुल भी unity नहीं थी, एक दूसरे के बारे में लोग बिल्कुल care नहीं करते थे, and they were having interest in their own benefits, in their own profit. And this was the reason that the Britishers, they were able to divide the Indians, and they were able to rule the Indians, because yes, there was no unity, there was no consideration for each other, there was no feeling of harmony, love and respect for each other, and all the people, they were having their self interest, they were just thinking about their self benefits. Clear? Next, being merchants, the British wanted quick profits. Their heavy taxes forced farmers to abandon their fields. Now we all know that first of all the Britishers, they came to India. Why? Because they were merchants, they just wanted to do business here. So yes, they came as merchants, but now they wanted quick profits, they wanted to earn more and more money here in India. So now what did they do? Because of their heavy taxes. So because of this thing that they wanted to earn more and more money, उन्होंने बहुत ज़्यादा taxes लगा दिए थे farmers पे. So now because of the heavy taxes, farmers now they were abandoning their own fields. So let's see what abandon means. Abandon means to leave something. Okay, so because of the heavy taxes, farmers they were forced to leave their own fields. Okay, because जितनी भी उनको अर्निंग होती थी, जितना भी वो एग्रीकल्चर ग्रो करते थे, वो सारा का सारा अमाउंट वो जो वो अर्न करते थे वो उन्हें टैक्स में दे देना होता था. ओके, सो नाउ दे वर नॉट एट ऑल एबल टू सेव एनीथिंग. नाउ दे वर नॉट एट ऑल able to feed their own families. So finally all the farmers they were forced to leave their field, they were forced to abandon their field just of the heavy taxes that were there. So now in this picture let's see, but your men are taking all my crops. So in this picture we can see all these are the farmers and one Britishers is also here. So this farmer is saying that how can I pay taxes, how can I give you some taxes, because your men they are taking all my crops. So now what will I earn, what will I give you as a tax? I am unable to give, I am unable to pay any tax because your men are taking all my crop. Okay, अब जब crop ही नहीं होगी तो फार्मर क्या सेल करेंगे, क्या अर्न करेंगे, एंड विदाउट एनी अर्निंग हाउ कैन दे पे द टैक्सेस. सो दिस वाज द वेरी मिजरेबल कंडीशंस ऑफ फार्मर जस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ द ब्रिटिशर्स, जस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ द हैवी टैक्सेस. ओके, जो ब्रिटिशर्स ने फार्मर्स के ऊपर लगा दिए थे, एंड नाउ बिकॉज ऑफ दोज टैक्सेस फार्मर्स दे आर हैविंग सच अ मिजरेबल डेज. ओके, दैट दे वर हैविंग नो फूड, they were having no grain, and their entire crop it was taken by the Britishers. So now he is saying the same thing that your men they are taking my entire crop. So now how can I pay taxes? So let's see what he is saying. He is a Britishers and he is saying you are still in arrears. If you don't pay next week, I will send you to jail. So he is saying that you are still in arrears. So what arrears means? Arrear means money that is owed. Okay, so he is saying that still you have to pay the taxes, still you are in arrears, and if you don't pay next week, if you don't pay your all the taxes next week, then I will send you to jail. So now here in this picture, after reading these things, we can imagine the miserable conditions of the farmer. One side they were having no crop, their entire crop was taken by the Britishers. Secondly, they have to pay such heavy taxes and they were not earning anything, they were having no food to feed their own families. So yes, this was the condition of the farmers at that time. Inevitably, famines followed between 1822 and 1836. 15 lakh Indians died of starvation. So at that time, this was the conditions that farmer they were not having any food, they were not having any grain. So it was very inevitable. It was something that cannot be avoided. That famines was there. Famines means extreme scarcity of food. Okay, so such kind of situation was there, and between 1822 and 1836 almost 50 lakh Indians were there who died. Why? Just because of starvation, just because of hunger. Why? Because the farmers they were not having any crop, and this is very strange that farmers were not having any crop, farmers were not having any food to feed their own families. Why? Because of the heavy taxes, the Britishers they used to take the entire crops of farmers, and because of this thing starvation was there, famine was there, and almost to 15 lakh Indians they died because of starvation, they died because of hunger. Okay, so this was a very miserable situation, this was a very horrible situation that we can see, that we can imagine. And yes, Indian farmer they had to face such situation, they had to face they had to deal with such situation, they had to deal with such heavy taxes. Next, still the British invented other methods which gave them more profit. So Britishers they were earning more and more money because yes, they were businessmen, they were merchants. So yes, they wanted to earn money, and for that they were having such a heavy taxes that we have read earlier. But still the British they invented other methods also which gave them more profit. So yes, they were having a lot of profits with the help of the heavy taxes, but still they were very greedy. Still they wanted to earn more and more profit, and for that they discovered other methods also. So let's see the picture. So here we can see some Britishers are there, okay, and they are talking about something, and they are talking about how to gain more profit. So let's see what he is saying. The goods manufactured in England should not have any import duty when brought into India. So this is the new method, this is the new plan to earn more and more profit, and for that he is saying that the goods means जो भी stuff है, जो भी सामान है, that is manufactured in England, जो कि इंग्लैंड में, जो कि ब्रिटेन में बन रहा है, should not have any import duty when brought into India. So this is a very horrible idea, this is a very horrible plan, because now they are planning this thing that all the goods, all the stuff that is manufactured in England, that stuff will bring to India and without any import duty. So what will happen, because if no import duty will be there on that stuff, so that stuff will be very cheap, okay. अब इंडिया में क्या होगा, in Indian market the entire market was full of that stuff that is manufactured in England, and the stuff that is very cheap, and the stuff that is manufactured in India, obviously that will be more expensive comparatively to that stuff. Why? Because that stuff that is manufactured in England, there is no import duty on that stuff, okay. So now in India, Indian markets will be full of that stuff. So yes, this is a very strange but still very horrible planning. A good idea, and obviously all the Britishers, they were very much happy with this idea. The East India Company's laws began to cripple Indian industries, and now because of these laws, now because of these rules, or we can say now because of these plans, the Indian industries, cripple means damage. So the Indian industries, they were damaging, they were facing a lot of damage, they were facing a lot of loss. Why? Because yes, in the Indian market a lot of British stuff was there that was much cheaper comparatively to Indian stuff, and because of that all the people, they were buying British stuff, and now finally the Indian industries, the Indian companies, they were facing a lot of loss, okay. So yes, Britishers, they were earning more and more and more money, and Indian farmers, Indian businessmen, Indian industries, they were facing a lot of damage, they were facing a lot of loss. Clear? The British policies ruined the expert artisans and their business, and because of the British policies, because of the British rules, जो Indian artisans थे, जो small businesses थे इंडिया में, जो handmade काम करते थे with the help of their hand, वो कुछ भी छोटा मोटा काम करते थे, small industry जो run किया करते थे, so everything was ruined, everything was destroyed just because of the British policies, okay. So जितने भी आर्टिशंस थे, एक्सपर्ट थे, इंडिया के एक्सपर्ट आर्टिशंस थे, और जो उनके स्मॉल बिजनेसेस थे, एवरीथिंग वाज रून्ड, एवरीथिंग वाज डिस्ट्रॉयड जस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ ब्रिटिश पॉलिसीज, जस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ द ब्रिटिश रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस. हाउ दैट आई हैव एक्सप्लेन्ड ऑलरेडी that the stuff that was there, that is manufactured in England, that was much cheaper comparatively to the stuff that is made in India, and now it is very obvious that all the Indians, they were buying only that stuff, and now the Indian industries, or we can say the small industries of India, the small businessmen of India, everyone was ruined, everyone was destroyed just because of these policies. And Britishers, they were having these policies. Why? Because they wanted to earn more and more money, they wanted to earn more and more profit, and yes, they were having no care for Indians, they were having no care, no worry for the citizens of this country, because they just wanted to earn money, they just wanted to rule. Clear? So now this is the condition. We have read the social condition, the social system, the social traditions that were there, and the condition of farmers, and the situation that Indian industries and businesses, they were facing. And in the next video we will continue the chapter. See you in the next video. Thank you.